All right, everyone. We get this last video from me in my office. I Actually, this is going to be the last video of the study, and so it is going to focus on chapter 7 and 8 and even a bit on the epilogue, but this is going to be fairly short as we survey these last few chapters that are here in our book. I'm fumbling through. I wanted to make sure I noted the chapters. I thought I did, but give me just a second. There we go. So chapter 8 is titled "The Lighting the Lamps." This is the time of Vespers. In the course of the daily hours, Vespers celebrates the lighting of the lamps as evening descends. It is a counterpart to Lauds, with its salute to the morning light. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote this, "And then you, God, you are the guest, whom he receives in gentle evening hours." And the psalmist, "Be at rest once more, O my soul, for the Lord has been good to you." Vespers is the start of the evening. I do some photography as a hobby more than anything, and the Vespers hour is known to be the golden hour. The golden hour is when the sun is setting on the horizon, and it's having to shoot through atmospheric layers of the earth, which gives it this orange glow, this tonality that's really soft on the face. During the day, everything's too harsh, and then of course you only have the golden hour for an hour, but it's really about 30 minutes before you start moving into twilight, where you don't have enough light to get the kind of photos that you're going for. And so this golden hour is a really special moment. It's the time when the sun is setting. It's the time when things are being illumined in a different way, but the sun has not yet set, so you're not fully in the mode of reflection as much as you are in the mode of turning the lamps off and settling in for the night. Perhaps it's a time for dinner for you. Perhaps if you're like me, it's a time when you begin to move into the transition of getting your kids ready for bed. It's dinner time and bath time and all the things that happen there. The time of Vespers is really special in our lives. It's the time of retirement for many of you, but it's simply the time in which things are beginning to settle down within your life. And then you move on over to the hour of Compline. Compline is the last hour of the day. It's when things are actually dark. This is the time I like to think about when you're laying down in your bed. Your evening has come. Perhaps you're in your comfy chair, but truly you're getting ready to shut down for the night. As a day or a life comes to a close, our most heartfelt questions might be, am I safe? Am I loved? Do I have a true home in this universe? It's interesting how when all of the events of the day begin to settle down, these big questions begin to swirl about within our lives. I think this is also especially true and connected to the sage wisdom that many of our older adults carry with them. Yes, it's time-learned, hard-earned wisdom that they've figured out over the course of their life. But also, it's a time when life is settling down for them to the point in which they have more time, perhaps, than they know what to do with, or they know what to do with the time, but they don't have the ability to do those things, and so they're forced to just settle into their space wherever they are. These are the sounds of Compline, this settling in and staying with the day, regardless of how it ended. I love this on page 187, where he says this, "That comes as close as I can possibly express to what I hope and believe will be my deepest truth when my evening of my life does finally come to a close. The desire One, to complete life with gratitude for all that has been, to leave life incomplete with trust in the God who will always be. This is the paradox of Compline. Yet Compline can be, a time to look back with gratitude and forward with trust, and to discern the true end of life in the light of eternity. Now, this is not a time that a lot of people like to reflect on, the hour of Compline, because it is representing the end of our life whenever that time comes. And I suppose that's partly what opens the door for good, important questions to be asked. But I like Leighton Ford here. I think this is such a great book. I think that that's a great time to look back with gratitude of all the things that are, and to look forward not with stress, but to look forward with trust. Trust in the everlasting God, who's good, who had things taken care of before we ever arrived on the scene, before our first hours of the morning and day, and even into the night after our time has passed. I think about this hour of laying down in my bed at the end of a night, because of course this I love the rhythm of this, because while we're talking about phases of life here, and we've really transitioned to that in our devotions, this is also something that happens to each of us every day. Every morning we have a new morning. Every afternoon we have a new afternoon, right? Every evening we have a new evening. Recently, I laid down with a bit of regret, and it's not real regret. It was just a disappointment, and you're going to laugh maybe about this, but I had played a championship soccer game with my over 30 league. I do that on Sundays. It's a really great hour for me to just kind of de-stress and transition out of that mode of Sunday morning and into the rest of my afternoon. And we played a championship game, and y'all, I was given an open goal. Somebody made the pass, and I looked up. It was just going to be such an easy goal for me. It would have put us up 2-0 instead of 1-0, and it would have won us the game eventually. And I looked up. I mistook a defender for someone else, and I took my shot, but it was not hard enough, and we didn't score. And so later on, the game ended up being 1-1, which is broken with a tie, with a tiebreaker, which in soccer is a penalty shootout where 5 people take penalty kicks and try to score a goal. I was the second person to go, and y'all, I missed my penalty kick, which just doesn't happen for me. I do this enough to know what I'm doing. Fortunately, we did win the game, but I won the game with some regret, because there were 2 opportunities I had to win that game for us, and it wasn't me. Now, fortunately, it's a team sport, so we won, and I was a part of the winning regardless of my misses. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I laid down on my pillow that night thinking about what could have been, right? What I could have done. It's a silly game, but it was something that was important to me at the moment. All of us do this, I think, as we lay down. We reflect on the day as it was, with gratitude that God is sufficient, sometimes with regret, but looking forward in the trust that we get to try it again. I love the rhythm of the Attentive life. I really hope this book has been as special for you as it is for me. It's one that I'm going to keep on my bookshelf, and now I've got even more notes in here than I did before as we've gone through this together. I want to read through these divine hours to you one more time. The vigils, about 3 a.m. Lauds, the greeting the beginning of the day. Prime, the start of the day's work. Terce, the 3rd hour, perhaps mid-morning. Sext, midday. None, mid-afternoon. Vespers, as the day is over and evening comes. And Compline, when the day is complete and sleep begins. These are the divine hours of the day. The benefit of this kind of life is that you get the chance to do it every day. Whenever you're watching this video, you're either approaching or in one of the divine hours. It doesn't have to be a real monastical kind of life for you. It just means to pay attention. Pay attention to the way in which God is at work, nurturing your spirit, giving you the breath you need to take on the day as it is. Well, my phone's ringing, so I guess I should take that. The secretary will pick it up. But I hope that you've enjoyed this study. I am really grateful to those of you who have followed along with me in this, especially those of you who have responded to me and things of that sort. I hope you've been as blessed as I have been. I'm looking to do another study of this sort. I know that we didn't have a bunch of people jump in with this one, but I do know that a few of you did, and I'm grateful for that. But also that I've got a pattern or a way of doing this in a couple of months that I think is going to be pretty interesting. So I hope that you consider letting other people know what this was about, how it worked, and invite them to join in with the next one. I hope you're well. Be blessed. Thanks for doing this with me. On to living in an attentive life, one full of gratitude as we are aware of the working of God. Amen. Amen.